friends, welcome to Vlogmas. I thought it would be a good idea to jump into the first day, just not only introing who I am if you're newer to my channel, but then also talking about what Vlogmas is, kind of giving an intro to what you can expect and how I took the concept of Vlogmas, which isn't my own concept, it's been around for over a decade, but how I took it and I made it pertain to not only my niche and like my brand identity, I guess, but more so just ideas that I had that I wanted to include in Vlogmas and how I plan on executing them throughout the next month. Before I get into the introduction of who I am, I do feel like I need to do the obligatory. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video and interact with me in the comments. If you are doing Vlogmas, let me know. Also follow me on social media. I'll have all my accounts linked below in the caption. And I want you to send me yours as well. I'd love to find new creators that I'm inspired by. I'm currently doing 50 days of fashion on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. So I would love for you to follow along with that. Most likely you will find something that you could be inspired by, and I would love for more people to come to my page and interact with my content. If you don't know me, my name is Kaylee. I'm a content creator from Minnesota. I'm a huge advocate for sustainable and ethical practices when it comes to the creation of clothing, home goods, and also health and beauty. So I tend to focus on those subjects. A majority of my following is female, but if there are any gentlemen watching, I would love to know what types of things you would be interested in seeing. I do want to build up both sides of my audience a little bit more and put out content that benefits everybody watching, because shopping sustainably and mindfully and supporting small business is not just for the gals, it's for everybody. I term myself a content creator, and the reason that I call myself that and not a blogger or a YouTuber or a vlogger only is because I've been doing this for 10 years. I started a fashion blog in May of 2014, so I'll be celebrating a decade of content creation in a couple months. I started with the fashion blog, writing up articles, doing photo shoots, putting out different outfit inspiration. Originally, I was just doing anything I thought was cute, pieces in my closet, kind of sharing outfit inspiration in a general sense. In January 2017, I went to India for a 2-week trip for the fashion program that I was in for college. My major is fashion merchandising. So I went to India with a group of about 20 people, and we visited clothing factories for 2 weeks. We learned about how different items of clothing were created. We learned about different practices within factories, what happens in a fast fashion factory, what happens in a slow fashion or mindful, conscious factory. And if you're wondering about those terms, those are traditionally used. Fast fashion is more wasteful. It usually is a company that doesn't care about their workers. They're either not in a safe work environment, they don't get breaks, they don't have things like 401ks, they don't get any education benefits, they don't have childcare benefits. They might just be in an unsafe work environment in terms of the structure of the building that they're in. So they're basically living in modern slavery, and they are producing millions of pieces of clothing that ultimately go into landfills and are just trend pieces usually. But then you have brands that are on the slow side of fashion. So that's what I focus on, is working with small business, local business, sustainably minded business. So the companies that I would work with don't necessarily have to be small. They might be major companies, but they might be more mindful in their practices of how they're creating their clothing. So I like to promote brands that really emulate that way of thinking. So that also could be something like a thrift store or a vintage store that's keeping really beautiful pieces out of trash piles and landfills. I think this way, not only because I think it's a good moral compass to sit on and to really contemplate how our decisions, especially as an American, can affect people in other places that I will never meet, and just being aware that they have the right to a work environment that's safe, or that they have the right to being paid for the work that they're doing. But then on the flip side, I'm also a woman of faith. I'm a Christian, so I'm constantly thinking about how my decision making is helping the vulnerable, which we are asked to do, and then how it's also being a steward of the earth and caring for the earth that God has given us. So that's a little beginner stage of who I am in a social media public sense. In a private sense, I am 28 years old. I live near St. Paul, Minnesota, and I live with my family. I am single and I've been single by my own choice for 4.5 years. I'm not the type of person who likes dating apps. I don't want to be set up by other people. And I just feel like marriage is really a gift and that partnership is really a gift, but it's not something that I am necessarily dying to do. It's not my number one goal. And I'm not someone who believes in soulmates. I believe that you can make a relationship work with really anyone if you want to. But I do believe that there are people who would be a better fit and people who would be a worse fit, or that you would constantly be compromising your dreams or your goals for somebody else. So I do think that relationships can happen naturally out in the wild, and that is just something that I stand on, and I know a lot of people relate to that too, that they're not necessarily idolizing getting married, but they have the desire to be in partnership and to build a life with somebody. They're just kind of waiting to see where that goes and how that happens. And I think there's a lot more of us single people who are probably living with their parents. I heard a statistic the other day, like 30% of millennials in the United States live with their parents. So I know there's a lot of you out there who probably relate. So now that you've gotten a little bit of an intro into who I am, and we've hopefully created a few connections on interests and ideals, I wanted to talk about Vlogmas, what it is, what you can expect, and how I came up with concepts that kind of fit my brand identity. You'll get a little sneak peek here of some ideas that I've had. The concept of Vlogmas was created in 2011 by YouTuber Ingrid Nilsson. She created it so her viewers could have an advent calendar of sorts from the 1st of December to the 25th. And instead of doing something like chocolate or presents, she did a vlog every single day. It's really caught on. I know YouTubers like Remy Ashton and Alicia Marie and Lauren Giraldo also do this. There's probably tons and tons of creators that you can find here on YouTube who are doing Vlogmas. I think it's so fun because it really is a niche opportunity, and it's an opportunity to connect with viewers in a different way than you do the rest of the year. Having watched Vlogmases, I feel like creators talk about feeling more connected in the month of December. And although I love the vlogs that I create outside of this and what I'm doing, I am really excited for Vlogmas and being able to specify what types of vlogs I want to do and what type of content I want to create, and being able to connect deeper and hopefully build like a family online. I like when you watch a vlog and you feel like you're friends with the person who's talking. I don't like when you just come to learn a DIY or there's kind of like this emotional disconnect. I like when you have an emotional connection with a creator. I was actually talking about this with my friend Zelf earlier today, where I was like, I tend to connect with the creator first, and then if I like their fashion or I like their content, then that's kind of secondary. I'm curious what your vibe is. Do you go for the content first? Like, are you looking up fashion, and then if you like their style, cool, and then secondary if you like their personality or you like how they create their content, is that second to the topic or to the subject of their content? Or are you like me and you connect with the creator first, and then whatever type of content they're creating, you just by proxy enjoy? Because Vlogmas is a much bigger task than what I am used to, and because I'm working on my own through all of this, like I do have friends who are helping me shoot some of the content or take the pictures, things of that sort, but a lot of it is on my shoulders in terms of coming up with the concepts, editing, and then also getting it out there, promoting it, posting it, post-production, all of that, getting the activities planned, things of that nature. A lot of that is on my shoulders, and I didn't realize how much responsibility that would be and how much work that would be. So if you are someone who's thinking about doing Vlogmas next year, I would say start planning now. Like, just start as you're watching through vlogs in December, or you're seeing people's short form videos on social media, start saving them for ideas for the upcoming year. I started doing that last year, knowing that I wanted to do Vlogmas, and because I don't work with a team, not to say that people who work with a team don't work hard, they do, but because I don't have people who are able to step in and do different responsibilities or roles, it takes a lot more planning than my usual vlogs. So my usual vlogs, if you watch them, are travel vlogs usually, like I'm going to visit a friend or I'm going on a trip, and then the vlog just basically is what I do. What I decide to wake up and do that day, interactions I have with my friends, very candid moments. It's not to say that Vlogmas is not going to be candid, it will be, but a lot of the activities that allow for the candid moments need to be planned beforehand. So as I was developing this whole concept, I started to come up with ideas of things I wanted to either talk about, activities I wanted to do, content I wanted to create for 25 days straight. And then as I was doing that, I was going to social media sites like Pinterest and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and I was getting ideas and kind of seeing how I could fit the aesthetic of what my pages are and what style I have, I guess, not only in terms of overall appearance, but just the style of the content I put out and kind of meshing those together. So it wouldn't make sense for me to randomly do how to snowmobile, because like I've never done that. You know what I mean? But it does make sense for me to talk about a gift guide, or it does make sense for me to talk about music or movies or baking or DIYs. Like that's the kind of stuff that I have done, I'm good at, I'm passionate about. Those are the things that I would like to share. So when you're going through and you're creating these ideas for Vlogmas, really think about, is this true to, yes, my brand, but really to like who I am, what I like. So once I had the ideas down and then I had the creative concepts of what I wanted to execute visually, then I was sending ideas to my friends and I was sharing. I had a note on my phone I can show you here, and I sent this note to my friends with some ideas, some photos for inspiration. A few months ago I did the October Bible Challenge, and I really learned through that experience that I can't be filming the day of because I just don't have the time to film everything the day of, edit it, and put it out. That really was eye-opening to me, to get ahead of everything and to really plan ahead. And then you also want to think ahead to, okay, I know now what this looks like in a long form video on YouTube as a vlog. What does this look like as a short form video for social media? Another concept to think about is building your brand if you are actually like a creator who wants to do this full time, and building your brand and working with brands, creating those relationships, those partnerships over the next year so that you're able to create a really healthy, true partnership for Vlogmas. So I will have a couple brands I'll be working with throughout the month of December, and it won't be every single vlog. I don't like when I watch something and every single day has a promotion, or every single thing that a creator puts out is like a promo, buy this, buy this, buy this. Obviously, as someone who's sustainably minded, my thought process is use what you have, or secondhand is not cheap. Like it doesn't make you a cheap person to do things with secondhand items. I don't want to just sell things, but I do want to be able to, as a business, make some money throughout the month of December and keep Q4 rolling. And so those are other things that you need to think about if you're trying to build a brand and work with other brands. Thank you so much for watching the first vlog of Vlogmas. I'm really excited for this experience and to see how it goes. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 2.